President Trump appeared at the Temple Wall in Jerusalem. President Trump appeared at the border wall in Mexico. But God wrote on the wall a warning for all presidents, all kings, all tyrants. Listen up, fam. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Shalom, Hotep. Assalamu Allah. That's peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses. I'm your brother in the struggle for peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality. Brother Minister Alifullah. Beloved, I want to share with y'all two prophecies. As most of you may be aware, for over the past couple of weeks, we've seen President Trump, we've seen Elon Musk. We literally are seeing what Master Fard Muhammad warned us of back in the 1930s. The rise and destruction of the 10%, the rich, the slave makers of the poor, who teach the poor lies. Those that do not realize that the scriptures teach us in the Bible that the love of money is the root of all evil. I would like to share with you two prophecies from the Bible and an echo directly from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad regarding King Belshazzar and King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. But before we get into the heart of this, I want you to understand some basics about Black theology. Don't take this personal. I know. Most of you have been raised under America's misinterpretation, mistranslation, mistransliteration, the King James 1611 interpretation of the Bible. So most people have no idea who God really is, no idea who the devil really is, no idea what are demons, what are angels, where is heaven, nor where is hell. So I don't want to come over your head. I'm gonna just talk on a level and at a tone and in a vibration that we all basically are more familiar with. So I'm going to speak to you more from a biblical, plain, linguistic type of manner, because I need you to just consider something. There's two wicked kings. Now, don't interpret this like I'm hating on President Trump or Elon Musk or the Republicans and Democrats. Listen. As Jesus wisely put in the Bible, when the disciples asked him about such matters, he took a coin. He took a dollar bill, be like, okay, you got Jacksons, you got Benjamins, you got Frank. He basically was like, he took the money and was like, whose inscription is on this coin? And they was like, it's Caesar. He was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Get a Caesars with Caesars and get a God with his gods. Meaning that we live in a dual nation in America. We live in a nation where there's good and evil. There's positives and negatives. There's protons and electrons. As I tell y'all, there's positive forces that govern every aspect of our lives, every aspect of creation. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, it has positives and negatives. The message teaches us in our lesson, 17 Ways for the Islamic Culture, to be optimists. His thing is like, do not look on the bad side of things that appear bad to us. There's always a good side. It's better to take that side. One thing that I absolutely love about this administration, they are waking the world up. These are the type, I love when them white folks devils come on the tip like, America first. And Trump literally is like, he don't care about the Constitution, the Geneva Conventions, the UN, your personal opinions. It's like, yo, this they're coming on some gangster stuff. For real, for real. Like, see, those type of 10% gonna let you know. Like, I mean, they not gonna play games like most politicians, and, you know, they gonna double talk, you know, double speak, and talk with both sides of that face. They not gonna be two-faced. They just gonna let you know. This is what's going on. This is what it is. I mean, and the arrogance of the 10%, you know, is not really surprising. Now, I mean, and, you know, as a soldier in the struggle for peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality for over 40 years, I know how this thing unrolls. You know what I mean? You know, you're going to suffer the slings and the arrows. You know what I mean? They you know, the persecution of the righteous is all in it. I mean, you got brothers that be like, oh, I'm soldiering and I'm just selling final calls and bean pies, and and the oppressor ain't worrying about me. You're not soldiering right. I mean, you got brothers in the belly of the beast. They be like, oh, I've been soldiering for years, and the administration never put you in a hole, never put you on AC. They never transferred you. They never considered you a threat to the system. You need to consider what you're believing, what you're teaching, and what you're practicing. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're teaching the raw, life-giving teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, persecution is par for the course, family. I mean, like, as for Muhammad, they dragged him to jail, set him up, put him in the mental health. Elijah Muhammad, lock him up, find him, but go get him off the street, stop him from teaching. I mean, it's all in it. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's like I went to this city. They shut me down, threw me in the holes. Went to another city, shut me down. He's a threat. Send me to another city. He's a threat over here. Get him out of here. Go to another. White man, still God, white man. Get him out of here. Get him out. That's all in it. You know what I mean? It's like your life, your death, your sacrifice is all for law. Not no mystery God. We don't teach terrorism, spooky pseudosciences. When we say a law, we mean our people. We mean the poor righteous teachers, the 5%. The poor righteous teachers who not believing the teachers are the 10%. These 5% are all wise and they does everything right and exact. They teach the teachers of Honorable Elijah Muhammad without fear. Because the message teaches us the message of the black man in 1965. This message is not for the cowards. You can't fly with this stuff if you ain't built for this. See what I'm saying? Just get out the way and let a real warrior come in there and do that. See what I'm saying? Let some brothers and sisters that's fearless, you know what I mean, that's really about the life-giving teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, put that flag up. Because we know it might cost us our lives. It might cost us our freedom. It might cost us our homes, money, jobs, reputation. So what? Our life and our death and our sacrifices is all for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not a mystery, not a spook, not a spirit, you see? So I'm going to come to y'all from the fall of America. And as I said earlier, this ain't just on some hatred stuff. Trump, the Republicans in general, they do a lot of stuff that I like that. I mean, they do a lot of other stuff. They tripping. You know what I mean? Politics are politics. All politicians got that good and bad. You know what I mean? Democrats got good and bad. Independents got good and bad. Me personally, I like Bernie. I mean, like, people don't really, you don't find me talking about no white politicians. You know what I mean? My thing is the devil's the devil regardless of place or time. There's big devils, medium-sized devils, and little devils. I mean, Bernie Sanders has a lot of stuff like any other politician because he's part of institutionalized racism. He's part of imperialism. But the thing I really like and respect about Bernie, and this is why I really was like backing Bernie politically, is one, the message toward us that we should give good politicians our backing. And two, you have black politicians that are against the people. You have others, white, brown, yellow, red, whatever. I mean, that's for the people. So I personally, we went to an event in Philadelphia years ago. I was doing personal security with Dr. Cornell West in down Center City at the time. And, was basically pushing Bernie Sanders thing. I even went all the way to New York. We was in New York, out in the park, at the Bernie rally and all that stuff like that there. But the problem with Bernie was like he had different political issues. One, he was just simply too old. I was like, dang, I wish he was like maybe 40 years younger or something. But he connected with the youth. He connected with the streets. He connected with black people. I respected that. He had his political stuff that I absolutely disagreed with. But the thing he was really trying to help the oppressed and the poor, the brothers in the penitentiaries, the senior citizens, black folks, people that's in debt, student loans, and people getting slaughtered in military needless wars and things of that nature. There are people that couldn't afford health care. So, but sad to say, people that talk about human rights over civil rights, they get ostracized and, they get labeled. So they basically looked at Bernie like he was just this radical socialist. So I was like, legally, politically, he's not going to win. I knew it was like, I'm still going to fight for him. But, the way they did the electoral college stuff and all that stuff and Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, it was like this traditional Babylon or baby London madness. But just watching the news, like for the past 2 weeks, it's literally like, yo, I hate reactionary stuff. Me personally, I learned this from the brothers and sisters on the grassroots organizing back in the 60s and 70s in particular. That's one of the things that they learned was like, our people are reactionaries, and you can't be a reactionary in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. So social media is really based on something happened in the mainstream and our leadership react to it. So whatever's the biggest topic of the day, it may be Jay-Z, Puffy, it may be Billy Carson, it may be Trump, it may be Israel and the Palestinian, whatever is going on, social media, the media seems to focus on it because you got to understand the media makes their money off of sensationalism. So whatever's the hottest topic, TMZ going to be like on that, because you can sell commercials. You could get endorsements. That's how that's how bloggers and YouTubers and podcasters, they do stuff because their thing is, we really don't care anything about the people or our subject. We care about money. If we could go viral with this, we're going to go viral with it. That's just the nature of the beast. The love of money, as I said earlier in the Bible, is the root of all evil. But to be fair to rich folks, because we don't want to hate the player. You want to hate the game. You want to hate oppression, slavery, suffering, and death. Discrimination. We're not trying to build a world of segregation and separation. The Nation of Islam position is we're trying to build independence. we personally don't care what y'all want to do. Y'all do y'all thing, whatever. We're simply saying, as far as me, my wife, my children, our family, we just want to live in peace amongst ourselves. Leave us alone. So when I see on the news all this stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is literally like living back in the days, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. Like, wow, it's like the pages of prophecy is alive and well in the wilderness of North America. So you have two kings that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us about. One king is Belshazzar, and the other one is Nebuchadnezzar. Now, this is important because both kings are rich and powerful and arrogant. But one king or leader is going to repent of his misdeeds and arrogance and in power, and he's going to humble himself before God. And he's going to be spared. Where the other king is simply going to have this issue, according to the Bible, about a wall. You got this president in this wall, pardon me, you got this king and the writing on the wall that Daniel, the prophet, is going to give us a prophecy about. Now, Daniel, to most of you brothers and sisters out there in Christendom, I mean, y'all look at the scriptures and look at these individuals like Daniel from a Judeo-Christian perspective. We look at it from the position of Black theology, Black cosmology, Black history, Black historicity, Black science. So I want to share with y'all some science on the Bible. One, we're going to keep it real simple. Number one, contrary to what 99.99% of Christians and Muslims and Jews believe on the face of the planet Earth, the Holy Quran or Bible is made by the original people, Black people, who is Allah, the God. Human beings wrote and lived these scriptures. There was a physical human being. We know him in this day and time through the Bible as being Daniel. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that this Daniel in prophecy, historically, talking about historically speaking, in real life, scientifically speaking, the message teaches us that Daniel was not a mere prophet. He was much more. He teaches us in an article titled Awake that Daniel was actually one of the 23 scientists. Not religious leaders. Religion, Latin means to go back to. Ligare in Latin means to tie down, to fasten, to bind, to enslave, to wrap up, to trick. We don't believe in religion or religare. God has no religion. God is not a Jew. God is not a Christian or Catholic or Buddhist or Baptist or Hindu or Muslim. You see, God is the supreme being. That which we call the mind, you notice when we say the mind, you can see the human head, the brain. You can't see the mind. Just as scientists would be like, we can see the cosmos, we can see galaxies, we can see atoms, we can see the universe, but we can't see energy. It's the same thing when spirituality falls to the vibration of what we call organized religions. There's like 4,000 organized religions, like 4,000 mystery gods that the people are deceived by in this day and time. Okay, so God or energy or the mind is unseen, infinite, and exists everywhere. All powerful. That does not mean, this is the most important part I need y'all to grasp. The priests, the rabbis, the wazirs, the ministers, the imams, the reverends, the gurus, the sheikhs, the 10% misleaders, the 10% rich slave makers of the poor who teach the poor lies are going to trick you. They're going to have you put stuff in classifications and stratas and kingdoms. They like, God is here and the devil is here. God is up here and the devil is down there. The angels are up here and the demons are down there. Heaven is up here and hell. All of that is 100% lie. No. The law of polarity teaches us God and the devil is just two different vibratory aspects of reality. Heaven and hell, hot and cold water is two, life and death, male and female, black and white, is all from a single source. All of the white folks came from black folks. Like, see, so-called racism was invented by a few white folks, but it's stupid to believe in racism. See what I'm saying? It's like the message teaches us the reason why we don't believe in racism or advocate racism. Be like, first of all, you have to be somebody that don't know your lessons or don't know science to even believe that black folks are a race. The message teaches us only race that we know of is white folks who've been around for 6,000 years. We ain't in a race for nothing. See what I'm saying? We have no beginning nor ending. We're the alpha and the omega. Know what I mean? Shout out to my beloved brother Gilly. He was building. I was listening to a little John he was building. And he basically was pointing out, something that the message teaches. It dawned on him basically, like when we're saying that we're a certain age, like last month I turned 60 years old. I don't believe in birthdays, so it's like we believe in dates of birth. Like how many times did we go around the sun? But our thing is our lesson teaches us said Nation Islam has no birth record, has no beginning nor ending. The message teaches us we was alive for 9 months in our mother's womb. Before that, we was already alive in our father's testes. Before that, we was alive in the water as an amoeba. You look at a drop of water, you get a bottle of spring water, and you take a drop, get you a microscope, and take a drip of any water, any spring water, pond water, ocean water, it don't make a difference. Just get a drip of water and just put it on and magnify it. You're going to see all these people swimming around alive and conscious in there. How do you know they're alive and conscious? Because you could literally take a hot needle and stick it in there and they're going to run like, oh, that's hot. Damn, what did you do? You burnt me. Like, I got feelings here. You can put a crane of little sugar in there and see them come eat that. Put a drop of salt in there, you see them come eat that. Repelled and attracted, sir. They're conscious. The seed of life, the sperm was conscious. It was already alive. You see? You'd be like, well, where did the water come from? The water did not come from a magician. See, white folks taught us that they had magical powers. So white folks would put on a black suit and a black hat. They'll come out with a black wand. They'll take the messenger's fez, the sun, moon, and stars, and they'll take the pyramid of Giza and put it on top of their head and put the star and crescent on there. And they'll take and come out and say, they're a wizard. They're a witch. They're a warlock. They're a magician. And they be like, abracadabra. Meaning what? Black folks don't speak Arabic no more, so they can just make it up. Just abracadabra. And they would make it seem like that they was able to pull a glass of real water out of a seemingly empty black hat. How did they get this glass of water out of this black cipher, out of this black hole? How did life come from this black dot, from this carbon atom? How did life come from this black man, the original man, the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe? It was all mathematics. But the pseudoscientist makes you think it's magic. They makes you think it's a miracle. But God does not use unnatural things. Everything that God does is all natural. It may be on such a level that you just don't understand it, but that don't mean that it doesn't have a cause and effect, that it's not a action and a reaction, that it doesn't obey the mathematical laws of polarity, that it doesn't use universal mathematics. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that when we look at prophecies or scriptures, we have to be rooted in logic, rooted in reality. He told us, he said in the Theology of Time in 1972, he asked himself a rhetorical question. He said, is the Bible a lie, Elijah? And he said, no, if you understand it. Now, what does that mean by inference? That means if you don't understand it, it's a lie. Is the Quran the truth? Absolutely. The Quran is absolutely the word of Allah made manifest. But does that mean the Quran is a spooky book? Of course not. The Quran is holy if you read it with a holy thought. You see, if you come into the Quran with an impure thought, hey, you're going to get an impure result. If you're coming from the Quran with a spooky interpretation, a spooky application, you're going to get a spooky result. God don't teach us the blow ourselves up in the name of some mystery God, to go to heaven and try to get some virgins in heaven. All that's organized religion, pseudoscience. I mean, that's bitter. All that is the confusion that's taught in this day and time by organized religions. Islam is real simple. I mean, Islam just simply means to submit to the will of one creator of all creation. We call that creator in the Arabic language al-Khaliq. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us the black man is God by nature, but he teaches us that we are not limited to the physical, you see, any more than a light bulb is limited to the physical. The light bulb, yes, it has a role to play in the material universe. When we put that light bulb in the socket, we use the law of polarity. We use the protons and the electron, the positive and the negative. Without one, the light don't work. You see, we need good and evil. We need God and the devil to see the light, you see? So when we screw the light bulb in there, it has a two-charge system. It has a positive and a negative. We needed to both to take and spark the light, or spark the nur, or spark the understanding, so that we may see the truth. But our people think that God and the devil are two distinct and separate beings. And therefore, they running around hopping on one foot to the left foot. They trying to please God, and the devil pulling them over here. But God told us in the Bible what? The soul is willing, but the flesh is weak. You're not going to just be positive in a universe that contains negative. You see? I don't care how holy you think you are. And I know a lot of y'all are faking the funk like y'all holier than thou. I mean, but everyone and everything in this universe is made of a duality, good and evil, black and white, positive and negative, God and the devil, righteousness and extreme wickedness. You see, truth and lies. You see, this is the proton and electron, or the positive and negative force that many people overlook. They look at the effects. They talking about fire and water and earth. No, fire comes from the atoms. Water, H2O, comes from the atoms. The earth is made of atoms. You see, I don't care what it is, where it is, when it was. It goes back to the atoms. Is the atoms the origin? Of course not. Nowhere near it. You see, the atoms just simply vibrate at a molecular rate where it transforms like water. You take H2O, take some liquid water, it'll vibrate and it turn into a piece of ice. Or it'll vibrate and it turn into steam and disappear. It turned into plasma. It turned right back into atoms of hydrogen and oxygen in the universe. So it all is mathematics, but you got pseudoscientists, you got tricksters that uses Jakub's law of tricknology. It's a mixture of tricks, but it got real knowledge with it. And you look at the magician and think like, oh, he or she was like, did you just see? He just pulled a glass of water out of a seemingly empty hat. No, he didn't. But I just seen it. Like, I drank the water that he pulled out. The message teaches us in 1972 in the table talks that when we see that magician pour that water out of a seemingly empty hat, we may not know how he did the sleight of hand because we're not magicians. It's not my job to sit around and waste my time looking for a mystery God, looking for a mystery hell, waiting on a mystery God to come back. I'm not waiting on Elijah Muhammad to come off the mother plane. I'm not waiting on Jesus to come back. I'm not waiting on the Messiah to come back, the Son of Man to come back, the Mahdi to come back. No, that's all spooky. that's that ghost-like teaching. That's not what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wanted. He told us this. I'm going to tell you what he told us. He said, if the judgment comes tomorrow, we got to eat today. Think about that. If the judgment comes tomorrow, we have to eat today. That's spooky stuff. I was like, you sitting around waiting on Jesus. 2,000 years, you still waiting on Jesus. Think about that. The Elijah Muhammad didn't die in 1975. He's coming back. It's 2025. You still waiting on the messenger when we have the messenger's message to guide us through this age of mess. Family, we're going to look at some Belshazzar and some Nebuchadnezzar, because in the fall of America, 1973, see, I'm not a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He's not here. I'm a follower of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who's the first, the last, the only messenger of the supreme law God, who came in the person of the Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. Plain and simple. It's not that Islam is not complicated, family. It's real simple. I mean, it's like, you don't need all these rituals and symbols and signs and all this. No. It's real simple. The black man is God. The white man is the devil. Heaven and hell is here on earth. Our job is to build the kingdom of God on earth while we live. We submit our will to the collective will of a law God who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. We get what? Peace of mind and contentment, money, good homes, friendships, in all walks of life. Our heaven is here on earth. I'm not looking for no heaven up in no sky, none of that. I mean, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, the supreme law of the land is supposed to be the U.S. Constitution. They like F the U.S. Constitution. They doing whatever they want to do. But the good thing is, you got some white folks that's not crazy like them. You got some Republicans that are sincerely, honestly, just conservative Republicans. They like, yeah, I voted for him, but I didn't know this boy was going to be tripping like this. Like, no. Then you got black folks that ignored Master Fard Muhammad, rejected Messenger Elijah Muhammad, argued and debated and had beefs with Malcolm X, and they went with civil rights. So the devil just came in and signed an executive order. All y'all civil rights don't mean nothing. I respect his hustle. See, I like when the devil do that gangster stuff. Wake us up. We need that sometime. Wake us up. Let us know there is no mystery God. See, Donald Trump, he knows he's God. Elon Musk, he knows he's God. Mark Zuckerberg, he knows. See, these 10%, they rich, and once they get to a certain plateau, a certain level of vibration, like when they literally like leave the earth and go into outer space, and you put tariffs on the world, be like imports and exports. They really like, wait a minute, we can really do this stuff. But what they missing is the black man is the God. The original man is the God. There is no God besides God. God has no partners nor associates. Now, God will give Satan power to do wonders. So he could have fire come from the sky if he wanted to. That's in the spirit. Now, when the scientists, when the black folks was like, Genesis said, and God said, let us, people of ancient Anunnaki, Kemet, Black Egypt, Nubia, the Sudan, Kush, Ethiopia, Zania, South. Let us, the black man of Asia, let us make mankind a kind of God. Not the original man, but let us make a mankind. He's not an Asiatic, but he's a dead part of the lowest part of our vibratory system. He's actually a child of ours. We gave birth to white folks. You may call it out of Africa or whatever, but the nomenclature of scientific terms, I ain't gonna get into that. You can see my other video on natural intelligence versus artificial intelligence to see that science. But when we said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, we gave them power. We set a time frame. We said, like, y'all can do this for 6,000 years. That's this y'all time to do y'all thing. But after that 6,000 years, we're going to wake black folks back up. And the original man is going to have problems waking up. You know, you wake up, you coming out, you dang, I'm sleep all the time. Oh, turn the lights off. It's too bright in here. You know, you can't give them too much light. You got to give, spoon feed them, let them go ahead and get themselves together, get out the bed, go ahead and wash your face, brush your teeth, get your, purify the temple, get the urine and the waste out the body, get your thoughts together. Now, you ready? You ready to go to work? Okay, now the original man is back, you see? So I'm just doing my little part to make sure that our youth do not think for a second that they have to go to church. Them young boys are going to be like, we are the church. Do not think you have to go to the masjid or the mosque. You are the masjid. You are the mosque. Do not think you have to go to the temple. You are the temple. Do not think that you have to go to the school or the university. You are the school. You are the university. You are the God that we're waiting on. There is no mystery God. Every time you look at the black man, you're looking at God. Now, these devils, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, all white folks ain't against us. He wrote a whole chapter in his last book, Al Sayers Rob, 1974. He said, there's a few white people are Muslims by faith, though not by nature. He said, good done by anyone has its rewards. And these white folks, they going to be blessed to see the hereafter. They get to go to heaven amongst themselves and live in peace and righteousness and technology and all that. Right here on the planet Earth, this is going to happen. I mean, but nature being what it is, it's like, that don't mean that the lion is going to turn into a lamb. It's mean that Isaiah teaches us the lion just going to learn to get along with the lamb. The snake is not going to bite the baby. I mean, it's so much competition on earth. We think that animals are doing certain things because they beasts and they do it by nature. It's like, no, it's because we live in a world of sin. There's an imbalance. Like human beings is like knocking down rainforests and forests and trees and destroying aquatic systems and killing the fish and animals. Is like, yo, we in a struggle to survive just like y'all. No wonder human beings is making war amongst each other. Animals making war amongst themselves because they're in competition with each other. But the earth is full of abundance. It's more than efficient and sufficient to fulfill all of the needs of every species of life that's on the planet Earth. But when human greed come in, when you have a handful of white men that are just 1% of the population controlling 99% of the wealth, we call them the 10%, the rich, the slave makers, or the poor. Now, I mean, that money go to your head. If I was a white man with $400 billion, I'd be crazy too. I mean, it's like, if you take a young boy from the projects, from the hood, and you give him a record label, a record deal, a contract, and you give him $1 million, he got 100 million, 400 million, $1 billion, and he's, 20 to 30 years old, he going to naturally go crazy. He's going to be doing some stupid stuff. Most of them. I mean, that's natural. That's human nature. That's mathematics. You see what I'm saying? So that don't mean that Donald Trump and Elon Musk hasn't done and is not doing and will not do some good stuff. That's not what I'm saying. Now, I mean, I'm not coming to y'all as a Democrat. I never in my life was a Democrat. I mean, I voted as an independent. I'm an independent thinker. The message told us, the message of the black man, start your own party. You know what I mean? So we started years ago, the Freedom, Justice, and Equality Party. Whoever supports freedom, justice, and equality for our people, hey, got my vote. You got my support. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we mathematically move with that, you see? But in reality, I vote for a law. I mean, I do for self. There is no mystery God, family. You know what I mean? So you had Belshazzar and Nebuchadnezzar, two rich, powerful individuals. One is going to get on God's nerves so much that he literally is going to cause the fall of Babylon. You see, like we say, the fall of America. I mean, but the other leader, king, rich guy, he's going to repent and he's going to reform and he's going to help God and the people of God. Hey, I'm not saying that that's going to be Trump or Elon Musk. You need to understand the way prophecies operate is like this. It's 24 scientists, human beings, black men. 12 of them are major scientists. 12 are minor scientists. If you've seen them, they would look just like your brother, cousin, uncles. I mean, they look just like you and me. Human beings in every sense of the word. But behind their eyes is a divine mind. That pineal gland sparks knowledge, wisdom, understanding that vibrates on a level that you just don't get yet, you see? So they can teach, and it has sparked the atoms in you and the atoms of the entire universe, and mathematically cause and effect will happen, and nature will produce the solution that they willed into existence. This is how Dr. Yakub was willed into existence 8,400 years before he was physically born. Whenever the nations become so dissatisfied, we always send certain ideas out there, determined ideas to spark the atom of mind to bring forth babies that's going to grow up and bring about the solution to that problem. It's cause and effect. Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam. So when the Bible, these scientists said, listen, we're not saying all of the rich leaders are all bad. There's some of them that's going to be able to help y'all. So they give us the story of Belshazzar and Nebuchadnezzar, you see? So let me share with you what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad shared with us on these two kings from the fall of America. This was written in 1973. This is chapter 30. Titled, She Had Become the Habitations of Devils. Revelations chapter 18, verse 2. Let's get into this. This is America, the glory of the world in wealth, sport, and play. Notice President Trump and them, they doing tariffs with the wealth of the world. I'm from Philadelphia. Shout out to the Eagles. Sport and play is the thing. The Super Bowl coming up. I mean, this is America. The glory of the world in wealth, sport, and play. With her merchant ships plowing the high seas, carrying her costly merchandise throughout the population of the nations of the earth. Bible, Revelations chapter 18, verse 19. The ships of America can be seen everywhere, in every port of the nations of earth. Her great navy is built to command the high seas. Her decks are mounted with great bristling rifle-barrel guns. The decks of her ships are covered with planes with which to carry deadly bombshells to pour on other nations who dare now to reject her entrance into their waters. We see Somalia. We just seen a couple days ago, President Trump and them just now bombed Somalia in Africa. They just bombed Africa. You know what I'm saying? Killing the terrorists in Africa as they're known. Now, when we say terrorists, you got to keep in mind the United States, they, the World Court, the Hague, the UN, they didn't define what a terrorist is. I mean, but politically, economically, if you got a port and you got people shelling the money bombing your ships that's trying to come through with the merchandise, and you losing like, oh, they just destroyed the ship. Something, you know how much money we just lost? They not go. The Bible warns us. Revelation chapter 13. Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? You see, it's a fool's errand. That's why the message teachers, we don't do the bloodbath teachers. You know what I mean? We don't pretend like we can physically fight the devil. That's not happening. See what I'm saying? You don't have no arsenal like that. You don't have the technology like that. Now, I mean, they can literally send missiles from outer space that come from the bottom of the ocean floor. I'm talking nuclear warheads. Like, they could push a button and destroy your entire nation in 1 minute if they wanted to. You can't do that. You may think you can. You may act like you can. So everything's real. So we're seeing the fall of America being fulfilled in 2025. This was written back in 1973. It's still true today, family. Okay? So he says, the writer, meaning John, foresaw America threatening and daring the nations to disobey her order to allow her entrance. America's Navy planes fly high in the air with their deadly bombs held ready to drop on the towns and cities of other nations who dare to attack her. The sky over America is shadowed with thousands of planes, but yet the grievous destruction awaits America. America sends planes flying out of her country and shoots herself out into space. SpaceX. Yeah, this is real, family. There's no mystery guy doing this. Now, I mean, like when you read the Bible, the Tower of Babel, and you got these rich, powerful leaders saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be like the Most High God. I'm gonna sit my kingdom up there. I'm gonna build me a castle in the sky. I'm gonna build me a Trump Tower." These things are really happening on the face of this planet. But y'all think it's talking about mystery demons and mystery devils and mystery gods and mystery angels, mystery hell and mystery heavens. And this is why the world is so chaotic as it is, all right? America sends planes flying out of her country and shoots herself out into space by means of the most modern rockets designed for space travel. At home, America's country is as the prophet foresaw and prophesied of it. America's covered with planes, and her army is standing ready to stop inside rebellion. The prophet who foresaw all of this readiness and preparation for the world showdown of military might says, quote, "Woe to the land shadowing with wings." Bible, Isaiah chapter 18, verse 1. America takes a look around the dead piece of our earth, the moon. She wants to see if they can do her harm. America takes a look at Venus and Mars. Yeah, then ain't they focus on rover, and they found water already on Mars. The message teach us, over 70 trillion years ago, we used to use Mars as a moon for our planet. See, amongst the original people, when knowledge of self, I just went outside and picked up the mail, and when I walked outside, I'm looking at, it was 6 planets aligned, last month. You can still see them, and it just looks so beautiful. You just see the moon and, the planet Venus over here. You see Mars over here. You see the stars and the constellations. Now, I mean, all these wonders are from the true and living God, not a mystery spook. All right. Venus and Mars to see if there are signs of any gods on these planets who are capable of warring with her. America boasts of her ability to kill the civilization of Earth 3 times over. That's sad to say. I mean, we see so much war on the planet. We see human beings are coming up with determined ideas, and they take those ideas and they extract irons and minerals out of the rocks of the earth. It's going on all over Africa. It's all kind of civil wars happening in Africa because rich European 10% slave makers of the poor, they need that technology to make those rockets to go to other planets. They need that technology to make cell phones, and inside these phones is precious minerals that's coming out of Africa and other places that the world depends upon, like our literal livelihood, communication systems and airplanes and helicopters and trains and trucks and cars, all that kind of stuff, watches, what have you, depend on this stuff. And the poor, the oppressed, they in a struggle for survival. And now is the time. See, this is why I love the devil being the devil. I see when the devil is acting all nice and sweet, you know what I mean? He deceives everybody. But when they take the mask off, you know what I mean? Like, they like, yo, did you just see what happened in Israel with the Palestinians? Did you see what Trump and them? Did Trump actually come out talking about he's going to take the Palestinians, he's going to take over the Gaza Strip and build some Trump towers over. He's going to build the Riviera. He's going to turn it into Las Vegas. He's going to make casinos over there. He don't have authority to do that, but wouldn't have that stopped an oppressor. See what I'm saying? It's absolutely a violation of human rights, but wouldn't have that stopped the oppressor. You see? Of course, the Palestinians and other people, like the people don't realize the Constitution is still the supreme law of the land. Like Trump, it's 3 branches of government: the executive, legislative, and judicial. Trump, like, forget the other branches. I'm Don of Don, King of Kings. Trump moving like Lucky Luciano. He like, man, listen, I do what I want. You see what I'm saying? Now he's getting some pushback. There's some white folks that's like, yo, my man, you tripping right now. I mean, like, you don't have that much authority. You can't just sign something. But Trump like, yes, I can. You see? And legally, in America, might makes right. I mean, he got the money, he got the position, he got the power. Now, you can legislate whatever, suing, whatever, that don't mean that you don't have your rights. That don't, mean that if he be like, oh, I don't want, I'll at least be teaching on YouTube. Not saying, no, they pull the channel again. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fight back. Like, yo, what happened to my First Amendment rights? I mean, like, yeah, I'm critical of y'all jokers, but I want my First Amendment right. I want the right to have peaceful assembly, the right to believe what I want to believe. You know what I mean? There's Congress should make no laws regarding the establishment of a religion or my spiritual nature. I believe Islam is my nature, not my organized religion. I mean, but legally the court's like, yo, yeah, we may not like what he talking about, but he right. You can't just ban his books and his literature and strip him from teaching and all that kind of stuff because you don't like the truth he's teaching. I mean, it's all in it, though. You see what I'm saying? But ain't no doubt in my mind, these some rich, powerful people. They can do whatever. I may be out of here in a couple of days. Yeah, that's all in it. You see what I'm saying? That don't mean that y'all should stop studying the life-giving teachings of Elijah Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? If they persecute me, put me back in the belly of the beast, get rid of me, bury me 6 feet deep, that don't mean you don't stop soldiering. You know what I'm saying? The struggle continues. Now, I mean, we that's all in it. You know what I mean? We soldiers. Now, I mean, so this message ain't for the cowards. Now, I mean, I never, ever, 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 ever seen Satan or a devil or a demon that I feared. I feared no one but Allah, the black man of Asia. You know what I'm saying? So that's where your faith and your love and your perseverance comes from, as Paul put it, I mean, to the church of Thessalonians. I mean, you just keep pushing the program. Now, I mean, that's all in it. I mean, so he said, America boasts of her ability to kill the civilization of Earth 3 times over and have an army left to attack anywhere else that an enemy may rise up against her. Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar, who were the world rulers of their day and time, made great boasts. Pharaoh also made mock of Allah, meaning Jehovah, and his power to attack Pharaoh. In the Holy Quran, Pharaoh said to Moses concerning of Allah, the Lord of the worlds, chapter 20, verse 49 says in the meaning, quote, who is your Lord, O Moses? Pharaoh said to his slave, Moses, in words to say, you take another God besides me? Holy Quran, chapter 20, verse 71. So I, Pharaoh, shall cut off your hands and feet, on opposite sides. But Israel took another God, Allah, meaning Jehovah, besides Pharaoh, and they did not lose their hands and feet on opposite sides. See, the devil threat, he'd be like, listen, I'm going to knock down your foundation. I'm going to stop your works. I'm going to cut your hands, your feet off your foundation. I'm going to cut your hands off. See, in Bible and Quranic, in the Torah and scriptural theology, when you hear stuff like that, it's symbolic. Now, I mean, like, they're going to crucify you. They're going to crucify Jesus. Listen, they're going to crucify you. You are the Jesus. The God is us. Jesus' argument was like, yo, for which one of my good works do you seek to stone me? They said, we don't seek to stone you for your good works. We seek to stone you for blasphemy, because you, being a black man, makes yourself God. And Jesus told them what in St. John? He said, is it not written, I have said you are all gods? You see, the scriptures can't be, bro. God's word is by. He tell them like, yo, y'all, before I even taught this, remember, that's all in the Old Testament. The messenger taught that. Malcolm taught that. Father Law, Class 13X taught y'all that. Marcus Garvey gave you knowledge of self. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, countless Christian and Baptist preachers taught the truth. Prophet Jones, Father Divine, Sweet Daddy, Bishop Grace, they all tried to resurrect black folks. We just don't listen. We like to come on YouTube and argue and beef and bitter, and we look at our little part, and it's like, oh, well, I believe in this, so I'm against everything else because you're not like me. It's like, yo, we don't all supposed to be the same fruit. It's all kind of fruit. Why would everybody be an apple? Where's the pears? Where's the oranges, the bananas, the mangoes? All of flowers is a red rose. Yo, where the white roses? Where the tulips? I mean, where the dandelions? I mean, it's like, it's all kind of fruit. It's all kind of MGTs. It's some sweet, some sour. Some sisters got thorns. They got issues. You see, the Venus flytrap is real sweet, but when that fly, eat him right up. Just kill him. You know what I mean? You see? So you got to understand nature. You see? You got to understand the science of how our scientists write these prophecies so that we can understand them when we see them. There are thousands of antichrists. Thousands of Christs. You see? There is the type and the antitype. You know what I mean? So it's like you can understand Trump and Elon Musk when you look at them in the light of prophecies. You see, when you look at Nebuchadnezzar, as the messenger said, I'm going to read this one more time. Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar, who were the world rulers of their day and time, made great boasts. We have a modern day Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar in 2025. And what are they doing? They making great boasts. You see, like I used to talk to my wife about this all the time. With Trump during his first term, a lot of black sisters, they don't like Trump. I mean, I didn't vote for Trump, but my thing was like, I knew that Trump wasn't a racist. I mean, I knew that Trump was an imperialist, a capitalist, a hustler. But the Trump I grew up with was the guy that, like, yeah, this joker went against the young boys in New York, this, that. But that same Trump is the same one that was like, yeah, he was the one that supported black men and made black men millionaires. And, Trump Towers, like, yeah, Holyfield, Mike Tyson, hip hop. I mean, so Trump, people forget Trump, the way he talking now, that's how he used to talk when he was a Democrat. Because he's a hustler. He's like, man, listen, he'll double talk you all. He'll come to you as God and come to you as Satan. He'll come to put you in heaven and he'll put you behind in hell. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand it's not personal. It's strictly business on Trump's side. Don't think this dude is literally, he talked that talk, but he ain't going to walk that walk like that. You know what I'm saying? So when Trump run around and he pushing ICE to do that, he know for real, ICE can't take and catch all them slaves. He talking 1 million, 3 million people. They catch a couple of thousand, and make it look like he's doing Project 2025. Black folks and white folks in the United States talk that biblical Jesus. They are Americans at heart. Like, listen, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, comfort foods, liquor, drugs, sex, gambling. They gonna keep on doing. They might go to church. They might go to Jumu'ah. They may make Salat. They may Ramadan. But they not gonna stay out the streets. They not leaving the clubs. They not giving up their cigarettes. They not giving up their cigars, their pipe, their weed. Oh heck no. See what I'm saying? So you got to understand the reality of this thing. I mean, you know, we just live in a nation that was built on exploitation and imperialism. You see what I'm saying? It's absolutely amazing to see the European powers of Europe, you know, Britain, England, the Dutch, Elon Musk and them in the Zane in South Africa. They literally like on some land grabbing. That thing is, people like, oh, they doing this, they doing this. Oh, you see what he did now? They doing what their ancestors always did. See, Trump and Elon Musk, they understand something. They like, listen, Adolf Hitler and them, the Romans, the Greeks, the European, they like, this is who we are. This is what they just like came to the realization like, man, we gangsters. we taking this. We taking the planet Earth. All that organizing the 13 colonies, everybody got their own little constitution, and then they form a republic, and they come together under federal law, and then the federal government got cannons, and Abraham Lincoln and them got the slaves, and they like, yo, we're gonna put the hammer on the South, and we're gonna free the slaves. We ain't gonna free them, friend. We just gonna emancipate them or let the slaves loose. But we're going to use these slaves as a pawn in our chess game so that we can maintain a one world power. We can't let the South have a president down South. We can't let Texas secede from the Union. We would kill on white folks down there before the federal government let that happen. It's not happening. See what I'm saying? So they went to war. Now, when they went to war, before that, they had signed paperwork like, yo, wait a minute, y'all treating us like Indians down here. Of course, white folks lied to the Indians 1 billion times, broke all the treaties, whatever. It's like, put them on reservations. And it's like, how you going to break in my house, enslave my family, force us in the basement of our own house on a reservation, and then when we get hungry, we come upstairs, they like, yo, what you doing? I'm going to get a sandwich. We planted corn, and we own the buffalo, and I need a steak. I'm going, no, you can't cross the border. You can't come out the basement. You stay over there. I eat the steaks, and I drink the beer, the barley. I'm chilling up here with my hoagie. I'm watching the game right now, y'all. You come across that border, we gonna have some problems because you're an illegal immigrant in your own land. Now, keep in mind, these are European powers coming over here across the Atlantic Ocean or Pacific, and they literally are illegal immigrants. I mean, they use terrorism, rape, robbery, and murder, and stole this North America. They stole Canada. They stole North America. They stole Louisiana. They stole Texas. They stole Mexico. They stole Central America. They stole South America. They stole Jamaica. They stole Cuba. They stole Hawaii. They stole every inch of the face of the planet. Everywhere you go on this planet in 2025, if you go amongst the original inhabitants, the original people that's native to that land, you go to Hawaii, you go to Australia, go to Africa, you go to India, you go to China, and you be like, What happened? they be like, yo, these British people came over here, kicked our butt and stole our shit. I mean, what happened over here? Oh, the French came up here and can't. What happened over here? Oh, the Spaniards came over here. The Mexicans are speaking Spanish now. They not from Spain. Puerto Ricans, the Taino Indians, the Latinas, as they know, they're speaking Spanish. Black people from Africa, they not speaking African native tongues. Ain't no Kiswahili jumping off in the hood. We're speaking English. We're not from England. But the English crown, I mean, the Queen Isabella, I mean, the British monarchs, I mean, people that we like still celebrate to this day. These are the colonizers and imperialists that literally destroyed and took the entire planet Earth. So when you pick up the Bible like Satan deceived the whole world. We're looking under the ground, looking in hot lava and magma, thinking, oh, it's a devil in there somewhere. No, fool. The devils is all around the planet Earth, deceiving the original people, taking all the resources, taking all the gold, taking the oil. It's like, yeah, Muammar Gaddafi's that. Y'all got oil. What? And y'all talking tough? Oh, please, 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 please give us reason to come over there and invade you so we can get you out the way, so we can get access to your resource. That's the game. You can't take that personal, fan. We got to wake up to this. This is the world we live in. Trump understands that. Elon Musk Mark Zuckerberg, they understand it. See what I'm saying? And you know, they are, as the messenger said, and Jesus put it, the devil is the god of this world. Satan is the god of this world. He's the god, the prince of the air. They are not the gods of righteousness, but they are the supreme beings on the face of the planet Earth. 57,255,000 square miles of land, 139,685,000 square miles of water, for a total of 196,940,000 square miles. That thing is, we don't see nobody with the might to make us right. You know what I'm saying? You know, stupid on that part. Because one thing the devil don't understand is that time is up. Nature's on the side of the oppressed. And they really can't fight. And you don't want to keep bullying the little nerd in school. It's not a wise thing. That's not a smart king. Now, I mean, you come in, you do your thing, but you take the pressure off. You're like, no, we good. We gonna get this money. Now, I mean, we gonna shake down and distort the whole world, but we gonna make sure that we doing some good stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you just coming in on some bold, you're gonna make the people bold. You're gonna make the people cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You don't want to do that. You see what I'm saying? Keep in mind, Trump won the election because whites are the majority in the United States. They like 60 to 70% of the population. But if you get all of the people on the planet Earth, put them in classes, black, brown, yellow, red, and white, people of color outnumber white people 11-1. Europeans are the minorities on the face of China. China, like, we got America, what, 300, what million? China, like, we got 1 billion people over here. India, like, please, we got 1 billion Indians over here. Why would we need a nation that's in debt to its neck in trillions of dollars for anything in 2025? It's a dip. Now, back in the day, America easily kick everybody butt. Easy. I mean, but now you live in a world where little Israel illegally got access to nuclear materials. Iran trying to get it. United States like, not going to happen. Israel like, not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Little Kim over there doing his crazy stuff. You got different nations all around the planet. You got Russia over here doing that thing. So they like, okay, America's like, all right, we still the #1 gangster, but we got a serious problem. See, you got the preponderance of power amongst nations. But then you got these political alliances where if Russia is joining up with China China money, China's huge military, Russia's technology and audacity. America like, it's a little, now nobody will win in that type of scenario. See what I'm saying? Me as a black man, I definitely don't want to see World War III on this planet. Why? The message teaches us, don't pray for that, the judgment. He said it's going to catch many of our loved ones lagging behind. Our people is still caught up in church and pork chops, division, and they want to be king of the hill. I mean, we still want to fight, argue, and kill each other. My thing is like, yo, we got to focus on nation building, waking up, organizing the people for some real stuff. You see what I'm saying? You know, like literally, you know, imagine if the so-called African Americans were conscious. Imagine, I'm just give you a brief hypothetical. Say after the assassination of Dr. Martin King, the assassination of Malcolm X, the imprisonment of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the imprisonment of Marcus Messiah Garvey, the imprisonment of father-in-law, the imprisonment of Master Muhammad, the imprisonment of, you know how the devil, if you're teaching the truth, they going to be on you. That's all in it though, all right? But imagine after all that sacrifice, you know, the Black Panthers, you know, Dr. Khalid, all after, you know, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, Salas Muhammad, Jeremiah Shabazz, you name it, Sister Tanetta Muhammad, Asada Shakur. We just got so many heroes and she-ros over the planet that have been fighting and struggling to wake us up. It's ridiculous. They suffered. Maroon, the MOVE members, it's just like they experienced pure hell on earth trying to help people to help themselves. But imagine if their sacrifices wasn't in vain. Imagine if Suge Knight and Puffy and all of them would have actually came together and formed a hip-hop conglomerate and took over hip-hop. Imagine if Oprah Winfrey and Bill Cosby and Tyler Perry and all of them, Spike Lee, they all came together and they put their resources together. And they imagine in Philly if Eve and Will Smith and Kevin Hart and all of them actually came to North Philly and South Philly and West Philly, the Northeast and German, and actually pool their resources, education, and qualifications for independence and start building their own homes, schools, hospitals. In fact, imagine them doing like the Amish with farmland, and we growing what we eat, we sowing what we wear, we building where we dwell, we defending what we got. Imagine nation building. Imagine us listening to the messenger's message in this age of mess where we will be building a nation in a nation. It's not a dream. It's a vision. For now, the struggle continues. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. Watching us.